My name is Idil Boran, Professor of Environmental Governance at York University in the Department of Philosophy. I'm also a faculty fellow at the Dadale Institute for Global Health Research. I'm here today in Kenya, in Kakamega, where my partnership with the Africa Research Impact Network as part of the BIOCAM4 consortium has brought me to do a workshop together with Arin.
Dr. Joanna Isatella. I'm the director of the Africa Research and Impact Network, which is a network of researchers across 36 African countries working on evidence to support policy and capacity building, both for our governments across Africa. So we are here as part of a project that we are implementing together with a number of partners. The project is called BIOCAM4. In full, we call it Biodiversity, Climate Action and Health. So the aim of this project is to just understand the interconnection between these three key aspects of life.
The BIOCAM4 project is the result of years of experience that I had the opportunity to acquire at York University. And in fact, my background in applied philosophy and environmental governance has shaped the way I think about climate action. It taught me to start with values of inclusion, equity, and social justice. It also taught me to ask simple but powerful questions. Whose voices matter? Whose voices are heard? Whose lives are affected the most? And how can action for climate and biodiversity and health can help forge a more sustainable future that benefits the lives of people around the world.
We know that climate change is the biggest challenge that we have today on our people in terms of drought, food insecurity. People now have cultivated their farms, but sometimes because of climate change, the harvest is really declining. We have many other impacts of climate change in different areas, floods, diseases that affect their health, and of course decline in our biodiversity in terms of declining species of trees, species of animals, and these have been really important assets for the livelihoods of the people. So we are looking at how climate change is connected to these other aspects of biodiversity and the health of the people. And this is critical because it is not possible to address the impacts of climate change in isolation. You must also address the other aspects that it is connected with. And this is why this project is one of its kind, because it's not just looking at one thing, but looking at how do we address climate change in a holistic way, bringing together these other issues of biodiversity and health of the people.
Over the years, in my research and teaching on environmental governance, I had the opportunity to collaborate with colleagues from multiple disciplines, from biology to health to social sciences. And these collaborations taught me the importance of bringing together different methodologies to create spaces for co-creation. At BIOCAM4, we believe that when strong research teams from around the world come together to join their forces, genuinely transformative, people-centered solutions can be found that are impactful, that bring benefits to communities, and that provide strength to the regional governance. Linking climate action with biodiversity and health is not just good research. It is ethically necessary. Communities are not experiencing these challenges in silos. Their livelihoods, their resilience, and their well-being depends on interlinked approaches. In our work with ARIN, in our collaboration with ARIN, the Africa Research and Impact Network, we strive to create these spaces for transdisciplinary research to bring benefits to communities.
My name is Tim Möschel. I am a PhD researcher at the German Institute of Development and Sustainability based in Bonn, Germany, and I am part of the BIOCAM4 research project. Our interest is to look at what connects biodiversity, climate action, and also human health with interventions on the ground. How are these issues interrelated and how are they tackled together and in an integrated manner? Researching in a context like ours, especially with a global north, global south partnership, it is very crucial to properly address a couple of ethical considerations, such as how do we address communities and engage with them. It is of utmost importance to properly involve communities. That does not only mean an informed consent, which by the way is more than just a consent form with an ongoing process and partnership of constantly engaging and verifying what we're doing in a research project. But it's more than that. It is also really co-creating what we're doing and ensuring it's of relevance to the community. But also beyond that, it is important to remain available to communities. So we are excited to have a strong local partner such as ARIN on board, which enables the project to also interact with communities beyond mere project timelines. And this is really crucial to not just disappear and be extractive, but rather cooperate and collaborate with communities on what is important for them, but beyond a mere project horizon.
My name is Dr. Humphrey Agevi. I work with the Africa Research and Impact Network, and I'm part of the team leading the BIOCAM4 project, together with also other consortium partners, including the York University, IDOS, CATIES, among others. And we are working in some biodiversity hotspots in East Africa, including the Elreb in Kenya, and Virunga Island in Rwanda. This project is an important project, bearing in mind that climate change is quite rampant. The effects have spread, and bearing in mind that Africa contributes around 4% of the global greenhouse gases. But you find that we are the most affected, mostly because of the low adaptive capacity. And this project is timely because it looks at how can we promote climate change mitigation and action to reduce the effects of climate change and to ensure that the people cope with the impacts of climate change. So we have had a wonderful workshop here that brought together different stakeholders working around climate change, from the national government, the county government, the NGOs, CBOs, and the communities represented by the Kenya Forest Association. And the workshop aimed at co-creating methodologies that will help in the deep dive of the case studies even as the project proceeds. And as we proceed with the project, we shall be looking at the governance structures at the community level, whereby we shall be looking at the multi-actor processes, partnerships, and collaboration, and how they contribute to promoting use of nature-based climate actions.
My name is Florence Onyango, and I work with the Africa Research and Impact Network. I actually handle communications for this organization. So we are here in Kakamega for the BIOCAM4 project workshop, which has proved to be very successful. This workshop is very critical and very important for me, given that I've participated in other related projects. And one thing that made me really keen about this workshop is the role of communications in nature-based climate actions. I think one important thing that we need to realize is that when projects come to communities, they do not just appear in blank canvases. They appear in communities where there have been struggles, there have been histories, there are memories. And of course, these setups have livelihood values to communities. And therefore, nature-based climate actions do not just appear in blank spaces. And it is very important for us even to notice that when these activities happen, they affect people's livelihoods, they affect people's access to certain very fundamental products like medicine, fuel wood, and even sacred places where they have previously worshipped in.
My name is Anne Irongol. I'm a public health researcher, and when we talk about conservation, we often talk about them in very huge and global terms, like millions of tons of carbons and billions of dollars. And the truth is, the most vital fight for our planet and for ourselves happens right here on the ground. What places like the Kakamega forest teach us is that biodiversity is not our luxury, it's our foundation. It's the forest purifying the air that we breathe, stabilizing the water that we drink. And when climate change threatens this nature, it immediately threatens us, our food, our safety, and our health. So projects like the BIOCAM4 give us the global map, but the community gives us the direction. By involving the people who live alongside these vital ecosystems, we stop just saving the forest and start realizing that the forest is actually saving them. This is more than just conservation. This is about building a future where a healthy planet and healthy people are two sides of the same thing, or are two sides of the same thriving coin. So the security of this beautiful world and our own rest firmly in their hands.
And so we have been doing this project for the last 6 months, mainly in the inception phase, just trying to design and understand what is it that we need to look at, how do we need to implement it in a way that makes sense, in a way that is impactful to the people, in a way that can help the different stakeholders, the government, in their planning, in climate action, biodiversity action, even health action. So we have come to Kakamega for the last 2 days. We held a workshop which we call a co-creation workshop, which brought together different stakeholders from this area, this region, Kakamega. Of course, we are working across the 14 counties of the Lake region, but this workshop was basically here focused on Kakamega. So we brought together different stakeholders, including the Community Forest Association representative, the foresters, NGOs, universities, CBOs that are working within this area, so that we understand their experience and what is important for them and what is it that this project should focus on, so that the results or the process of implementing this project can respond to the needs, the real needs of the people. There's one thing to do research on paper, but there's the other thing to have that research reflect or help to shape or to impact on people on the ground. So as we do more of our research, we really want that what we do is really making sense to the people on the ground. So we've had a very good time in the last 2 days, interesting discussions with these different stakeholders, and many experiences have come during those discussions, and this has helped to really bring the project to a reality in terms of aligning to the needs of the region. And of course, within this conversation, we've also come up, or we've also established what we call a community of practice on climate change, biodiversity and health, which is to bring all the stakeholders together in a way that they can continue to share what is going on and to collectively develop programs and ideas that can support actions and can support policies and research that is going on in this place. So this is the last day of the workshop. We are here in Kakamega Forest because we want to then now see the realities on the ground vis-a-vis the discussions we've had in the boardroom. It is important really to connect the two so that we are well aligned to the realities, the challenges and the vulnerabilities that our people face, and we can address them through our contribution via this research that we are undertaking.
Actually, for the 3 days we have been the workshop, it was very innovative and very exciting because people were free to express themselves and tell what they were supposed to be done on behalf of the climate change and what should be done on Kakamega Forest as a whole. So the workshop was very fruitful. On behalf of the people, I say thank you and let's meet again.